That one. Man, that light sucks. You ready? What's that? No, but Philip wants me standing in the middle more. You ready? All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome. Covering second day. Feels like the fourth day already. Welcome. I know the show just started. The crowds will, people will become trickling in. We waited a few minutes before we started just to kind of get people from the door to over here. But I'm Brett Monty with Merkrete Systems. This is Hector Flores with Merkrete Systems. I'm going to be doing the talking. He's going to be doing the doing. But this morning, we're kind of talking about surface prep and what, kind of this industry has now moved more towards in surface prep. With ceramic tile installations, of course, that's what we're really going to talk about, but just let you know, these products, as I mentioned to you gentlemen a few minutes ago, can be used under any type of flooring that there is. So it is a flooring patch, but we'll also talk about ceramic tile because this is coverings. But this is some pretty unique products that we have here, and I'll just kind of give you a little history on both. Is the Pro Patch Plus, which is the product that we're going to be demonstrating today. This particular product kind of came to fruition probably about 6 or 7 years ago in the sense that I was out working the markets and I was down in some southern states where you have these concrete slabs, and I had some international or some national installers that work all over the United States. They were taking another person's product, mixing it up really, really fluid, almost like a self-leveler, pouring it out, dragging it and screeding it across the floor. Well, the problem with doing that with that particular product is they were mixing it so thin that it wasn't made to be that fluid. And so when you mix something with that much water, you're actually weakening the product. You're not making it capable of doing what it's supposed to do when it comes to PSI strength and shear strengths. So I went back to my lab and I said, guys, I need a product that is very fluid, dries fast, that's screedable, and it kind of needs maybe a little self-healing to it. They came back to me with this product, Pro Patch Plus. This particular product is a patching compound that can go up to a ½ inch thick. It starts its initial set in about 30 minutes, fully dry and weather dependent, maybe hour and a half to 2 hours. Again, depends on your substrate, depends on the weather, your ambient temperature around it, and humidity. But it's a very unique product that it is screedable. It is self-healing. If you've ever played with patches before, what kind of patch do you guys typically use? Plana-patch? Okay. So with a Plana-patch, and I can talk about this because I used to work for Moped, but those types of products they're labor intensive. To get it flat, you're really pushing it around, you're flat troweling it, you're smoothing out or feathering out those edges. Imagine if you had a product that when you hit it with a trowel, all you're doing is pushing it, you're going to do a little surface tension break on it, and then you're going to walk away. That's it. If you go to screed this product, and you take your screed and drag it across the floor, you pick your screed up, it drips down into it, and it just settles back down into it. So literally, it is less labor intensive in the sense that all you're doing is pouring it out on the floor, kind of troweling it where it needs to go, and then you stop playing with it. The only thing you might have to do when you touch it is, let's say you are filling in a bird bath, because that's really what this product's made for. So you're filling in that bird bath area, you might have to come back and feather the edges a little bit. But you can see how fluid this is. Patches typically aren't made to be this fluid. And this particular product, like I said, is screedable. And you guys can come up if you want to come take a little closer look at it. But if you guys can see that from here, Hector's hitting it with that trowel. He's cutting it, and it's just self-healing back in on itself. Yes, ma'am? It doesn't shrink. No, it's not made to shrink. So if you go above that ½ inch thickness, it will shrink. But it's a ½ inch thickness. If you need to go any thicker than that, you can do one coat, let it dry, do another coat, and you can build it up from that point. But it is a very unique product. There's not a lot to show to this, but you can see he's pushing it around, he's moving it, working it. But imagine, like I said, if you poured this out on the floor in the corner of a room or corner of an area, took your L screeds or box screeds, and you dragged it across that floor, it's going to fill in those low spots automatically. I will tell you this, over the last 2 years, we've had a 400% increase in sales just with this product. And a lot of that has to do with that ceramic tile, the tolerances that are there. So when you have the tolerances of large format tiles, anybody know what that is off the top of your head? Anyone? eighth and 10. It's eighth and 10 for large format. Quarter and 10 for regular size. So that's a very, little tolerance at eighth inch. I'd like to see 16, but yeah, depending on what it is, what size. Yeah, when you get into gauge porcelain panels, now, but we're panels in that. They're even above the large format tiles. Yeah. So with that being said, tolerances are there. And I always ask this when I'm talking to contractors. Who likes to install on flat floors? Raise your hand. Right? Everybody likes a flat floor. So when you're installing on a floor that meets those tolerances, a floor that is flat or a wall that is flat, it makes the installation easier. It really does. So surface prep, we've always lived by the adage of, you're only as good as the substrate that you sit upon. And when you are working on that substrate, getting it what you need, you're using less mortar. You're using that appropriate mortar. I mean, how many guys, we've all done it, I know I've done it in the past, where we use the mortar to fix that bird bath. Why do we not want to do that? That's not an approved method. It can be used as embossing. Overlayment. It is not a wearable surface. Yeah, it's not a wearable surface. It does have to be covered. 6,000 psi. It's very strong, but it's still not a wearable surface. Yeah, we don't have a product that is a wearable surface on our side of the business. Now, we are owned by SIKA Tile, or SIKA, and SIKA does have some products that do that, which we'll mention SIKA here in just a few minutes. But as you guys can see, this is going to be the finished product. When it dries, it will be smooth. Now, I can't say enough about this product and its capabilities and what it can do, but the fact of the matter is it's half-inch thick. You're dry in roughly, again, that environment, hour, 2 hours, depending on where you are in the ambient temperatures. It's easy to use. It's what I refer to as labor easy, because all the other patching compounds that are out there, they're great products, don't get me wrong on that, but they are products typically that you're having to finish. And we have one of those, and that is ProPatch AL1. Now, this particular product kind of goes back to that same customer that I was talking about here, where they came to me and said, look, we want a patching compound where we can ramp with it, where we can build up with it. This particular product can go to 3/4 of an inch. It's a 10-pound box. But they also said, we don't want a product where if we have to go embossing over, adverse substrate, let's say they've got to emboss over old cutback residue, or they're embossing over vinyl when they're going to go vinyl over vinyl, or they're going over wood for embossing where they want to smooth out that surface. They don't want that extra skew of having to add a latex to it, because if you look at the data sheet for most of those products that you guys are using out there, if you're going over a adverse substrate, most of them are going to require a latex to be mixed into it. This has everything mixed into it. This has that latex. It's what we call a heavy load or a high load. It has got a lot of acrylics and polymers in it. You'll actually see it when you mix this product up, because you've ever taken the powder like flour and you put it in milk and it just kind of separates on top. It's hard to stir it in. This is kind of like that. Then it hits that sweet spot and then mixes it out nice and smooth. So this product is going to finish very similar to the other products that are out there, in the sense that this one is going to be one where you're going to trial around, but it's very sticky. It is very high in polymer content, so that way it will adhere to those others. But the nice thing is, when you're going out to a job site, whether you're an installation company or sending your installers out, you're sending one box out there that can do virtually anything they need it to do. And both of these can be used under all surfaces that are out there. So very unique products in that. Let's see how we are on time. So, yeah. Oh.
What does AL stand for?
All in one. So the AL1 stands for all in one, meaning it's all in one, meaning it has everything in it. ProPatch Plus means it was a ProPatch, and it's plus. It's got some neat plus additives to it to make it work. But like I said, you guys, when we're all done up here, you can come take a look at this and see what it looks like. In about 45 minutes, it'll be dry. You can actually, if you touched it now, I can already see it turning matte finish on top. It's probably not going to self-heal. It has that few minutes of workability time, and again, it's that porosity that you're working over. We're going over a piece of cement board, very high in porosity. Other thing with this product is, both of these, you don't need to prime the surface. They are highly modified. They will work over that surface, even over those situations where. Now, on the ProPatch Plus, if we are going over that adverse substrate, whether it be a OSB or a piece of wood or plywood, or we're going over that cutback residue, we are going to recommend that you put a additive in it. So this one's going to need an additive going over the adverse substrates. This one has everything built into it. All right, so we're going to switch hats over here, and we're going to talk about SIKA Tile for just a moment. SIKA Tile is our partner in crime. It's our sister within the company under the SIKA umbrella. Our booth is right there, the big yellow banner up there. If you guys have any questions, come over and take a look. The SIKA Tile's got a product called 025 Patch, and it's a very similar product to this. It's got a little bit different aspects to it, a little bit different bullet points, but everything still falls in line with that. So it's still a kind of a self-healing patching compound. It's flowable. It's easy to work with, just like this. They've got a product called Level Skim Coat, which is going to be very similar to the ProPatch AL1 in a 10-pound packaging. So the SIKA Tile products are out there. That's a great product. We like our Merkrete products. We like our SIKA Tile products. We ask you to try both, whether it be ours or the Merkrete or the SIKA Tile products. Now, being that said, we also have, when we're talking surface prep, we've got self-levelers, we've got mud beds, we've got underlay C, which I like to talk about, underlay C, and especially for the commercial guys. We have a product called underlay C, which is a modified mud bed. Think of it that way. So if you're doing any floating with it, it's modified. It's got a very fine aggregate to it. So when it finishes, it's smooth. Go to 1/8 inch to 3 inches in 1/4, one lift. We've got the RS version of that, which is a rapid set version. And I'll tell you, in a dry, warm climate, for instance here, Vegas, that underlay RS, you're walking on that. You're installing on it in about an hour. It's a very rapid setting product. So for commercial jobs where you're doing quick patches or quick fixes or overnight work, it's a great product for that. So we do have multiple products in our prep series. If you look here, prep, we've also got our crack isolation membranes. We like to say that we are the founder of liquid applied crack isolation membranes. We were one of the first companies to ever have a liquid applied that. When it comes to the liquids this afternoon at 4:30, we will be talking about our SP1 and some of our other waterproofing products for shower pants. So we'll be doing a demo on that. But back to finishing this up, you guys can, I don't know if you guys, can you tell from there that it's gone matte finish on top? Yeah, so it's already started to set up. Now, last but not least, slake free. We've got slake free and no slake. Slake free is, you guys are all familiar with the word slake. You know, when you mix it, you walk away, go smoke, go clean your toolbox, clean a tool, call the wife, girlfriend, or mistress. Or all three. But our products now, whether it be on the Merkrete side or the SIKA Tile side, are all slake free. So what does that mean? Well, for us as a manufacturer, be honest guys, how often do you let a product slake? 10 seconds, yeah. Some guys will mix it up, they'll go wipe off, and then they're going to come back, mix it up, and then go use it. Having a slake free with the special polymers that we're using, really what that does is now the guys that aren't letting us slake, that are using our products, now we don't have to worry about it. They're going to get that high performance product. Slaking is, for a lot of products, a very integral part of using those products, especially when it comes to the high performance mortars, LHT mortars or LFT mortars. When you're using those types of products and you don't let them slake, you're not going to get that grab that maybe you're looking for on a wall. So slaking is very important. Now you take that 10 to 15 minutes out of that slaking period. If you look at a pallet of 48 bags of material and you take away the slake time, you're actually saving about 12 hours. So we all talk about money, we all talk about time. Time is money. So what we're really trying to do is save you on that, is a little bit of that time on that job site doing those jobs. So again, all of our products have this special polymer to it, and they're non-slake products. Last but not least here, Hector, you want to join me? I'll give you the good one, I'll take the bad one. Okay, so who here has heard of our dustless technology? We've got a couple of people here. James, we know you have. So dustless technology, we carry the patent on this. And all of our mortars on the Merkrete side and every product on the SIKA Tile side, barring maybe 1 or 2 SKUs, are dustless products. What that means is they are 80% less dust. So what does that mean for you? it puts less product up in the air, less dust in the air, makes our products a little bit easier to mix. They're a little bit smoother and creamier when you're going to use those products. But the really unique thing to this is, if you've never seen it before, is I've got a standard thin set in this jar. Hector has the dustless product in his. You ready? So there's your differences between the products. You can see there's very little product coming out of it. Now, we're not going to say that you do not need to take the precautions that you normally would on a job site with respiratory masks or your whale tails in those, because silica, as you always know, silica is something that you can't see. So this doesn't mean that it's a healthier product. This means that you're going to contain and make a cleaner environment. For our distributors, it's great because, once again, it's not putting dust into their warehouses when they're stocking the materials. When you've got commercial jobs, and I know I was talking to these gentlemen, you guys do some pretty large jobs. Who's that poor schlub that's always over in the corner doing nothing but mixing all day long? He looks at the guy in the blue hat. You. So, imagine not coming home at the end of the day looking like that character from the Charlie Brown movies. You guys might be too young for that, but Pigpen. Yep. Okay. Yeah. You're not Pigpen anymore. You don't have that cloud of dust over your head. So again, the Merkrete products are the majority of our mortars are dustless. On the SIKA tile side, I'd say almost all the products we've got the dustless technology in. So that kind of wraps it up for us, guys. We've got a couple of little giveaways up here. I've got some hats, 3 hats, and I've got 3 guys back here that I'm going to give these to. All right, and then last but not least, since she's always asking my questions. But yeah, you guys got any questions? We're going to be hanging out here for just a few minutes cleaning up, and then getting out of the way for the next group coming up on board. So thank you very much.